the podcast, Can You Take My Shift? Your favorite coworkers are off the clock and back for another episode. Hello and welcome back. Here at Can You Take My Shift, we have one rule and one rule only. And that is the rule.
This is unspoken rule.
Exactly. All rules should be unspoken.
So it's like a Fight Club thing? Don't talk about Fight Club?
Exactly, yeah. Don't tell anyone you listen to the podcast. Actually, just kidding. Tell everybody you listen to the podcast.
That is the last thing we want. Everyone needs to listen.
Yeah. Well, welcome back, everybody. Amy, how was your week? How was my week? How was your week? But how was my week? But how was your week?
My week was...
Sorry, well, my week.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. Go off, Cleet.
I'm kidding. I'm just being obnoxious, like Leos are supposed to be.
Yep, that is fair. That is fair. My week was kind of eventful. I haven't talked about this at all. And it was because I was very, very nervous and I didn't want to get my hopes up in case something went horribly, horribly wrong. But I got a new job. Yay!
Snaps for Amy.
Snaps all around. I got a new job. I left my other marketing job for a higher position at a different company. I don't know how much I can really say about it. It's like a public company and all that kind of stuff, but it's just a big deal, and I'm sure there's gonna be lots of things I can't talk about in regards to my job, but it's like a social media position, so I'll be working in social media instead of just marketing. It's like a full-time role. I'm a manager. I have to tell people what to do and report to lots of big people, so it's a lot. It's really exciting. It's a big jump, and I'm nervous. We're recording this on a Saturday, and I start it next week. When this episode comes out, it'll be my first week, so fingers crossed for me. I got all my stuff for work. My desk is so overwhelmed with computer stuff.
Oh my god, you look like a hacker in your mom's basement. Not to be offensive here. Okay, so Amy and I have the cheapest desks from IKEA from a couple years ago.
They're actually children's desks.
They're children.
Because now I've been looking up new desks. Mm-hmm. I have found out that the desks we have are meant for children.
I mean, makes sense.
Yeah, but it's because they're one of the cheapest IKEA desks you can find. But at the time, they suited our needs.
Yeah, at the time we had so little space that this was a luxury that we could fit them in our loft.
Yes, yeah. And now I have, before, people know, I stream, I talk about it all the time. I had my one monitor that was totally fine. At my old job, I had two monitors. One was normal sized, one was a tiny old square monitor. My new job sent me some supplies because it's a hybrid model, either work from home or you can go into the office. It's just kind of your choice. Mm-hmm. So they sent me work from home things, and the monitor is so big.
It's huge. It just looks obnoxious.
It just looks obnoxious, and It's really funny because when I bought my monitor for my PC originally, I was going between my one I had and a slightly bigger one, and I was like, nah, the slightly bigger one's too much. And I got when I got mine, I was like, dang, this is pretty big. This is nice. I'm used to a tiny little 13-inch laptop screen. Now I'm holy shit. It is so big. I feel like a true gamer.
Yeah, you're finally living in your gaming final form.
I truly am. So, as we like to say around here, bigger and best things. So that's super exciting. Hopefully the job doesn't take over my life too much, because now I'm going from part-time to full-time work. Mm-hmm. So it'll be a lot, but it'll be good. But yeah, I didn't talk about it because I was really scared it wasn't going to happen. And in case I did talk about it, and then people are like, so what happened? And then I have to cry.
Yeah, no, but it went well, and everyone's really excited for you. I remember when I told my mom, she was like, can I text Amy? Can I congratulate Amy? I was like, yes, Mom, you can text Amy.
Yes. Yeah, I got a lot of nice little congratulation texts. Mm-hmm. And I think the one really cool thing about the job is they low-key took a risk on me because it is a higher manager position. I don't have a lot of experience, but the one thing I did have going for me is what I'm working on, I'm incredibly nerdy and passionate about. And if there's one thing I could really, really push, is that don't ever let people think that being overly passionate about something can't get you a job.
Yeah.
Because the reason I got this job is because I literally like nerded out in my presentation. I went on like little rambles all the time, but they liked that because that is stuff they can't teach you.
No, you either know the product, you like the product, or you don't. And for me, like I'm still very jealous of you because one, now you make more money than me.
Sorry.
So Amy's gonna be my new sugar mama.
I can't be a sugar mama for you and my partner. Like, there's too much.
You can have multiple sugar babies. We can be polygamy, like sugar babies.
Okay, well, I already said they get a plush allowance.
Okay.
They can have one plush a month. What would you like your allowance to be?
Oh my God. God. You have to take me for ice cream once a month.
That's doable. I can do that.
I need an ice cream allowance.
All right, I'll give you ice cream allowance. So
Perfect. You heard it here. It is on record. I am getting an ice cream allowance from my sugar mama. Yeah. No, but like, so when I did all my schooling, like for PR and stuff, and then I was still working at the salon, I was so excited because I was like, yeah, I'm fresh out of school, but I've been working here for years. I know the product inside and out. I know our clientele inside and out. And then they obviously, we all know they obviously took my dreams and shat on them.
Yes.
But like, I look at their social media now, and then it was funny. So I went in to get my eyebrows waxed and tinted yesterday, and so did Amy. And like both of our eyebrows look like, you can't see us, but just imagine two beautiful women with fantastic eyebrows.
Yeah, they're great.
And that's what you'll see.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Shout out. If any of our friends need an eyebrow specialist, message me. We have my good friend. She's
fantastic.
She's absolutely fantastic. And she was doing my brows yesterday, and we were talking, and like the place is falling apart.
Yes.
The place is absolutely, like, I jumped ship at a good time.
You did.
And because things were going to shit while I was there, and then it just like fully went to shit, and I feel so bad for her. But like, this company is so terribly managed. It's one of those companies where they got too big for their management style.
Yes. And it almost is like the CEO is trying really hard to like be an influencer when she has no claim to that at all.
She has no claim. She has no influence whatsoever. And like, she's very unlikable.
Yes.
And so like, I'm just like mad because I'm over it. But like, going there, and like, the only reason I still go there is to visit my friend because she still works there.
Yes.
And like, if she quit, I'd never step foot in there ever again.
Yeah, that's the only reason I went there is because I know her and I would like to support her.
Exactly. And like, we know she's good at what she does, and like, that's what we're going there for. And it's very funny and like frustrating. Like, you got what I should have got within them. Yes. They're like, okay, you know what? You don't have the experience. However, you've been working here for years. You know the product. Because it used to be that like 15, 20 years ago, you could work your way up through a company. So you're like, all right, you know, people who can't afford to go to university, they can work their way up. That does not happen anymore.
No, it really doesn't. And it's really kind of funny because when we used to work for the coffee shop, that was something they liked to boast about all the time, is you can work and you can grow with them. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I grew with them. I went from being a barista to a key holder, and that's some amount of growth. But to jump even further, like, the managers of the coffee shop were like worked to the bone. It was not fair to them. And assistant managers literally made $1 more than me, and they could be waiting for a store for years. And I was like, no. Because at one time they're like, oh, like, do you think that's something you want? And I honestly said no. I was like, I don't want to manage a store. That sounds awful.
Yeah.
Like, no.
No, so what you make, because let's say you have like dreams of like moving up through, like, because you would go like barista, shift, assistant manager, regional manager.
Yeah, district manager.
District manager. But like, things can take years and people aren't leaving their positions. Although there is a weird shift now. So when I was looking for new work, there's so many admin jobs because there's two reasons. One, older people have either retired or died.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah. Or 2, people are like, they don't want to come back into work because those roles, you have to be in the office. Like my work is still hybrid. Like half the people are working from home and half the people are in the office. My role cannot be in the office, at home.
Yes.
I have to be there, right? And a lot of people, they want a hybrid model, or they don't want to come back to the office. Now BC has gotten rid of that rule where you have to have like a
hybrid model.
Yeah, and now like my office, it's funny because my office, I think it was like a couple of days after Valentine's Day, when the restrictions lifted, they're like, everyone's going to be back in office the next day. The next day, no, I still have the office just like half of my office is refusing to come in.
That's the thing. So when I saw that rule, it made me a little nervous because my job was told it, like I was hired on a hybrid model. Mm-hmm. That's how they pitched it to me. And they're like, oh, we're hybrid, like partly because of COVID, but partly because it just like worked for them.
Yeah.
And so when that news came out, I got really scared because I was like, I think it's really, really, really terrible of companies to do that to their employees. Mm-hmm. Like, I understand, yes, there are some jobs that you have to do from an office. That just makes sense. But if your job does not pertain to you to be in the office full time, like if your productivity is the same at home as it is in the office, you should be allowed to work from home.
You should, and it's really frustrating. So I got up yesterday morning, put on my cute little work outfit, my little black dress pants, little black booties, was wearing my Aritzia blazer. I am not a Vancouver girl. I rarely shop at Aritzia, but like this blazer is like my Elwood's blazer.
Oh, I'm so mad. It's so nice. It is so nice.
It is so nice. It was like $200. I got it for $80. Like, I went to the outlet, and I'm leaving for work at 8 a.m. because I have to be there by 9. I start work at 9, but if I leave I have to get the first bus, because if I get the second bus, then it's always full.
Yeah.
So I'm always showing up to work like 15 to 20 minutes early.
Yep.
Sometimes I'll go for like a walk around the block because I don't want to start early, but half the time I just start early because there's nothing to do. But then I look at you, so everybody else in our house works from home. So Amy is going to be now working from home. Yeah. Trevor works from home, and Mason works from home. All of you guys are still asleep, and it's like, and you all make more money than me. And it's like it's really frustrating because you don't, like, commuting is not paid. I have to pay to commute.
Yes.
Right? So it's an extra 2 hours out of my day. So what is the bus cost? I don't know. I think I pay like $3.
Yeah, it's about $3.25, something like that.
So it's like, it is really frustrating as a worker because like I know my job can't be done at home, and when I was looking for jobs, I heavily tried to find something work from home, and I think in the future, like, I think the hybrid model is great, so you can come into the office when you need to.
Yes.
But you don't need to come in every day. And, like, my one coworker, she is really upset that she has to come back because the hybrid works so well for her productivity. But then when she comes into the office, that's when she does all of her scanning, all of her, like, faxing. She's like, the stuff only needs to be done once a week, so I save it all when I come into work. Mm-hmm. That one day a week. Like, I have to... So I have to burn CDs for my work, and I don't know if I've talked about this.
No, you've not.
So
your work is still in the 90s.
Yeah. So my coworker comes up to me. She's like, hey, can you burn a disc? And, like, my face, blank. Absolutely blank. And I'm like, I don't know how. And she's like, you don't know how? And she's like, oh, God, how young are you? Because we wear face masks still. And, like, I am small. I do look young. So especially with a face mask. She's like, what are you, like, 22? And I was like, no, like, I'm turning 27. She's like, okay, I'm in my 30s, but still. So she, like, had to go through with me how to burn a CD. And I was like, yeah, when I was a kid, my dad, what he would burn, like, his playlist on CDs. Yeah. And then he'd make his own cover art.
Yeah, it's actually really funny. When I was back home at Christmas time, I was, like, going through some of my boxes because I'm terrible, and I still have so many boxes at my parents' house back home.
Oh, you need to get rid of those.
Look, I got rid of 2 while I was there.
Okay, good for you. Yeah. Good. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you. Yeah. There's also, like, a furniture set. I don't want to get rid of that. It's nice furniture.
Yeah.
But anyway, I digressed. Continuing on, I found my friend, and I remember this so profusely. I had a friend in grade 8, and for my birthday, she burned me a CD that's like a playlist of like a whole bunch of old like indie music.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and I'm like, I still have it, and I was like, oh my god, like I have like a decent amount of this music like on my phone still, and I was like, oh, that's just really sweet that I found like the CD. I took a photo of it so I can like make a playlist for it on Spotify. Aww. But I was like, oh, that's really cute.
Yeah, it's so cute. But yeah, she was like teaching me how to burn a disc. And also the thing is like, so my computer's on the older side of work, so I can't do anything else but burn the disc. And some of the discs were taking so long, so I'm just sitting there staring at my computer hearing it whirring away, and I'm like, oh god. And then my coworker comes up to me, she's like, don't, make sure you don't try to do anything else while it's burning, it'll like break down. Also, my coworker still has like a floppy disk drive on hers. I actually found floppy disks the other day because so work has been super slow lately.
Yeah,
so like I have been looking for things to do. Like I organized paper clips for 2.5 hours.
Fun.
Because we had a big thing of them where it was supposed to be like big paper clips and then small ones, and people had just been all throwing them in this bucket, so I didn't know how many to order.
Oh. You know, as one does.
Yeah, so I just organized paper clips for 2.5 hours, and then yesterday was like cleaning out the office supply room, because part of my job is to do the office ordering.
Yeah.
And it's so funny. So we order office supplies from this company, and they like don't blink when I order office supplies. I was like, do I have to like okay this? And they're like, no, you know what we need. I'm like, okay. So I'm ordering supplies, and this company was like, oh, if you order $150 worth, you get a free gift. And I'm thinking, oh, maybe like a free box of pens. No, your options are a pack of 10 sanitizer wipes.
Okay.
Like 10 individual wipes, not like 10 packs.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Yeah. A small bottle of hand sanitizer. So the wipes were worth, like it says, they're worth $1.50. The hand sanitizer, $2.53. This last item, $4.99. And I was like, oh, what is the last item? A Lindt chocolate bar.
A singular Lindt chocolate bar?
It was one of the big ones. So I was like, yeah, hell yeah, that's a free item I'm getting.
Chocolate.
We have enough hand sanitizer and wipes, and then when it came in, I was unpacking all the stuff, and my coworker Mary's like, oh, you can have it. The old receptionist always used to order herself the chocolate bar, because we do keep a bowl of candies.
Oh, mm-hmm.
So I was like gonna toss it in there, and then I'm like putting stuff away, and my other coworkers goes, he's like, I think he's Italian. He's like an old Italian man. He's like, oh, I need some office supplies. Just kidding. It's your chocolate bar. Yeah, and I was like, oh, it's so weird. So I feel really bad. So this is an awkward story. So I have to, like, since I'm a receptionist, I have to pick up the mail and open all the mail. And at first I was like, oh, well, it's addressed to this coworker. And my coworker is like, oh, only if it says private and confidential, you don't open it. So I started opening everything, because that's what she told me. If it didn't say private and confidential, I opened it. And then my one coworker, this Italian coworker, got Amazon packages. And I had opened other packages too, because like paperwork will come in packages, like giant binders. So I just opened packages. Well, I opened up the first Amazon package, and it's a comic book. Like, you know those comic book bones?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, that's odd. Slots it in his mailbox. Second one I open, it's Pac-Man's underwear.
Okay.
And I'm like, he ordered underwear to the office. I mean, it was obviously clean.
Well, yes.
And I was like, it was so awkward. And I was like, what do I do? And I go to my coworker. I was like, what do I do? And she's like, just tape it closed. And she's like, why did you open it? And I was like, well, she told me to open everything, and it didn't say private and confidential. And she's like, yeah, but they're personal stuff. And I was like, how was I supposed to know? You have to be very clear with me.
Oh, see, at our office, if people order like packages,
yeah.
At my old job, when I would sometimes help out with reception and admin, when people would order packages, we just wouldn't open them. We just like go on Teams, like, hey, Jake, your package is at the front, unless it was like mail specifically addressed to our like the workplace,
the company. Yeah. So I don't open packages anymore unless it's like from another office, because like I know I can usually feel like, all right, this is a binder, this is a file we need to open. But it was so awkward, and I don't know, like the two of us have never acknowledged that I did that. And I'm like, we're just gonna ignore that ever happen.
Yeah, just honestly don't talk about it.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you're ordering a pack of underwear to
people order weird stuff to their offices.
Yeah.
Like, I remember one time when I was doing admin, like someone ordered like pillows.
Oh.
Yeah, people order like clothes. And I'm like, are you trying to hide something?
Yeah, well, I understand ordering stuff to the office because, like, when I think about our old place, after a certain, because we lived over a business, if our landlords were gone, sometimes we wouldn't get packages.
Yeah.
Or we'd be afraid, all right, they're going to steal our package. So I understand people doing that. They order them. Like, I think the apartment building by us, like, the packages are just left in the front of the building.
That makes no sense to me.
That makes no sense, and it makes me really uncomfortable. So I'm, like, very happy, like, we live in a townhouse, and, like, we do have, like, a gate and, like, some bushes, so you can't really see a package, but, like, packages get left on our doorstep all the time. And I mean, we have had, like, something stolen off our patio before.
Yeah, no packages.
No packages.
We had a steel shelf from IKEA worth like $30.
Yeah, that somebody stole, and I still makes me mad to this day, but but it's more like, what was the reason?
What was the reason?
What was the reason? But yeah, like my other coworker, I had this like weird interaction with this UPS guy where he came to give me a package, but he's like, I need you to pay for this. And I was like, I don't have any money. Like, I'm not paying for my coworker's package.
Yeah.
She makes 5 times the amount of money I do. And like the finance manager wasn't there, and he's like, I guess I'll come back. And then I talked to her the next day. So she like paid for it over the phone, but I guess the guy didn't get the memo, and then UPS was confused. And then she literally gave me a blank check, and she's like, I ordered another package because she ordered a bunch of stuff, I guess that had duties on it.
Oh.
So she's like, yeah, I ordered stuff for my mom's birthday. You can just put it in my office. She also gets Sephora orders all the time. And I'm like, just take this. I wouldn't. I've never.
Sorry, this package has never shown up. Got lost in the mail.
But she hands me a blank check with like, she's like, yeah, if they ask you for money, just write the amount in. And I'm like, you have given me so much power.
That's insane.
Yeah, she just like, and I'm like,
is that what it's like to have money?
I don't know, but like, I'm like, I have been here for a month. We've maybe had 4 conversations. This is a lot of trust you're instilling.
I honestly just think it's like when people have like money.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I could have wrote $10,000. Like, I know she's good for it. With the kind of work in, I know she's good for it.
Yeah.
Cashed out, never see me again.
It's crazy.
Sorry, for legal reasons, that is a joke.
It is a joke.
That is a joke.
It is a joke.
Yeah.
But office lifestyle is weird. Like, we've now both, like, worked in an office environment for, like, over a year. Mm-hmm. It's very strange.
It is.
I don't 100% know if it's for me, although I want to tag that up to the fact I'm like, I didn't necessarily enjoy my old office work environment. Mm-hmm. There was nothing overly wrong with it. Like, it wasn't, like, toxic or terrible or anything like that. It just wasn't the greatest. And I almost want to, like, tag that up to, like, COVID a tiny bit, because obviously, like, people are sitting at their desks. They're not, like, interacting, doing all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. Like, office life is weird.
Office life is really weird. I don't know how I feel about it now that, because I've been there a month, and my coworker joked, so like, it's tax season.
Ugh,
and
don't know.
A couple years ago, I had 6 T4s. She's like, because like when I went to see her, when I went to get my eyebrows done, she's like, oh, like you got. Amy said you got a new job because Amy went first, and I was like, yeah. And she's like, every time I feel like I see you, you got a new job.
Yeah. Although this year, I think you have 2.
I have 3 T4s to fill out from 2 old jobs, and then I was laid off, so I have to do EI as well.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, and then I also have to find my T4 from schooling, or it's not a T4, you get like a tax credit from work.
Yeah, it's something different.
Yeah, so I have to do that too. But anyways,
do your taxes, kids.
Do your taxes.
When are they due? I don't know. Sometime before April.
Sometime. But so I've been there a month now, and like at first I was like really scared because I felt like people weren't that friendly, but I think like people warmed up to me, and like I really like one of my coworkers. She's super cool. My older coworker, Mary, is very funny. I told her that I got COVID last year, and she was like telling me how anytime she eats anything spicy, it makes her throat hurt. So she went to get like COVID tested 3 times because like she had a spicy burrito, and they asked her to stop coming. This was like a year ago. Yeah, she's like, because my throat would get like itchy, so I kept going, and they told me to stop coming. They're like, stop eating spicy food. Stop coming.
Yeah, I feel like that's a sign.
Yeah,
like that's like if you kept eating like peanuts or like pineapple, and you're like, man, like I'm breaking out in hives, or like I can't breathe. Like, do you not think the problem is it me? Am I the problem in that situation? Like, do you not recognize that?
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me.
Yeah,
so,
speaking of peanuts.
So I have been on the wait list to get allergy tested for 8 months now. 8 months. So, and it's been because I've been having some like digestive issues, and then last year, anytime I went outside, I broke out in red hives on my face. So I thought, okay, maybe I'm allergic to pollen now, because you can develop an allergy at any age.
Yes, you can grow into allergies and you can grow out of them.
So I finally got off the wait list after 8 months. I go in to do my allergy testing. They literally, like, she writes the numbers up your arms, and then I was like, oh, is it like a needle? And she's like, no, it's like a little toothpick.
Yeah.
And they go dot, 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 dot. And then she's like, all right, you have to sit there, wait, basically with like your arms out. You're not allowed to scratch, and you wait. So I'm like staring at my arms, and like nothing is inflamed except for this one spot. And I'm like, oh, she's like, you cannot scratch. So I'm like, fuck, that's really itchy. I wonder what that is. Cause it was the little circle. It kind of looked like a bad mosquito bite.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like sitting there for like 30 minutes, and then she comes back and she's like, oh, so you're not allergic to anything. I was like, what do you mean? What about that one? She's like, oh, that's like the control. Because they have to see if your body even like, because it's all like with the histamines and stuff.
Oh, mm-hmm.
So they purposely give you one that will make you have a reaction, because as a control.
Yeah.
Just to make sure the other ones are working. Because if you don't get an allergic reaction from that, it means that their system's broken.
Oh, I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah. So I was like, I thought I was allergic to peanuts for 10 years.
Yeah,
10 years!
I came home from work that day, and I was like, hey, Kelsey, like, how did your allergy test go? And she goes, how did my allergy test go? And I was like, oh, are we about to find out that, like, she's, like, deathly allergic to something? And she runs down the stairs, goes into the kitchen. And at this point, I still believe that Kelsey is, like, allergic to peanuts. I mean, I've always kept a jar of peanut butter in the house because you told me you're not that allergic. But, like, I'm very good. I clean my knives and I do my due diligence. But she goes into our kitchen, into the cupboard, pulls out a bag of peanut M&Ms, shoves her hand into the bag, shoves a handful of peanut M&Ms in her mouth, and I'm just like, I was like, please tell me this is like a joke and you have like an EpiPen, like your doctor gave you like 12 EpiPens, and you're like, I'm not allergic to peanuts. I just don't really like them.
Yeah, I was like, I first of all, you know when you just have like a chance to be dramatic? I 100% took it. Like, yes, I fully committed to that bit. I fully committed because I was like, I've been so diligent about like not having peanuts for the last 10 years, and I've never liked the smell of peanut butter, still don't.
Yeah.
But like, I've been so diligent because I had a bad reaction the one time, and then I was waiting to get allergy tested, and then it never happened, so I just assumed I was allergic to peanuts.
Yes.
Because if I have a bad reaction to something, I stay away from it.
Yep.
Like if something gives you, if dairy gives you diarrhea, don't be pounding back milkshakes.
Or you can, just maybe take some Lactaid.
Exactly.
You do you.
Exactly. So like, I know what foods make me feel sick, so that made me feel that like I had a reaction to that. And yeah, no, I'm not allergic to anything. And she's like, yeah, you're not allergic to pollen. And I was like, then what caused my hives? And then I was telling her about how anytime when I was younger, we'd go on vacation in the wintertime, I would get really bad sun rash. And she's like, you're probably just allergic to the sun. And I'm like, so I'm not allergic to anything but the sun.
Ah, yes.
And she's like, yep. And I was like, well, what do I do? And she's like, well, first of all, what kind of sunscreen do you use? And I was like, oh, I wear like an SPF 30 every day. And she's like, no, you need a minimum of 60. And she's like, you need to be applying it like 3 times a day. And I'm like, fuck.
Welcome to my life.
Yeah.
Except I don't get a rash. I just get sunburned because I'm very pale.
Yeah, no, I went outside the other day to sit on my lunch outside because it was cold, but it was sunny. And I literally had a rash from the one part of my face that the sun had hit. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Kelsey, what did you expect?
I know what? I'm a vampire and not a fun, sexy, sparkly one. I am just like, I'm more of like a dark shadows. Ooh, sometimes I check outside. Oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No, you'll be fine. You have an excuse to buy yourself a ridiculous sun, like a floppy sun hat.
True. I'm gonna have to like wear sun hats. I've been on the hunt for a really good sunscreen, but so far I've not found anything that I like. Because some I find are very greasy.
Yes. there is lots of debate on what sunscreen is good and what sunscreen is bad.
Oh my goodness. The sunscreen discourse. I feel like we could make a whole episode just talking about sunscreen, maybe in the summertime, because like there's certain countries where they don't allow certain sunscreens. Like Australia has crazy sunscreen rules.
But that makes sense though, because like their climate is so hot, and I've been told by like multiple people that if you get anything that's like an SPF like 80 or higher, like that shit actually doesn't work.
Exactly. So I thought I was like fine with my SPF 30. Like it's in my moisturizer. I wear it every single day, but no, that's not high enough.
No. Because, well, I think, like, most people should be wearing, like, a 15 to a 30. Like, that's pretty average. But, yeah, like, what did your doctor recommend for you to wear?
60 plus.
That, okay. But I was told probably, like, anything over 100, like, isn't actually going to work for you.
So, and I might order those things. I've seen these advertised to me because, obviously, my phone is listening to me.
Of course.
Those little patches that, like, it tells you when to reapply sunscreen.
Oh, yeah, they kind of look like a nicotine.
A little bit, yeah. They're kind of like, you know, like the pimple patches.
Yes.
Yeah, which, like, I'm wearing on my face right now. And then Tara's like, they look weird. And I'm like, they are helping. I am breaking out.
They are helping. I got my partner on them, and they're great. So, you know, they do their job.
Mm-hmm. No, I've gone back to, like, so I kind of stopped wearing fabric masks because anytime, like, I'd wear my fabric mask, my skin would break out. So I was, like, wearing disposable masks, and, like, yeah, they're shit for the environment. But my face was, like, getting, because I don't know if I need to bleach all my masks.
Probably.
Because, yeah, like, I'd, like, wear a freshly washed mask and I break out. So I probably do need to bleach them. Because when I got my hives last year, they're like, you cannot wear a fabric mask. You need to be wearing disposable, like, every single day because it's not gonna help your skin. But no, masks are still around, and I'm fine with that. Honestly, like, I'm, like, kind of scared because a lot of places are, like, lifting, like, all of their COVID mandates, and I work downtown.
Yes.
And I have to, masks are still mandatory on public transportation. They're still mandatory inside.
So everyone knows, this is for BC.
Yeah,
these are BC's rules.
Yeah, like, we don't want to talk about, like, Alberta and other places.
No, as far as Canada goes, I think BC was kind of, we're still the strictest as far as mask mandates go and the vaccine passports go, and I'm totally fine with that.
I'm totally fine with it. And know what makes me, I have not had a man tell me to smile in years because they can't see my face, and, like, people, like, talk about how, like, I don't really want to get too much because it's not my place to speak of, you know, cultures where, like, women are more covered. And, like, some people are like, oh, it's a sign of oppression. Well, to them, it's, like, a sign of power.
Yes.
And it's not my place to speak on, like, religious practices in other cultures. However, I do like people not being able to perceive me. Also, I sing and I, like, mouth things. Like, I mouth fuck you at people all the time. If we stop wearing masks, I can't do that.
Mine is gonna stop. It's gonna be so terrible.
Yeah.
The one thing I do like, because I have braces, so when people see me and they see me with my braces, I look like I'm like 16, 17. That's fine. I know I look young. With a mask, never ID'd. I look older, and I appreciate that just in, like, a working business environment sense. So, like, when I'm actually out, I feel like I get a little bit more respect.
Yeah, I get that. Oh my god, we're actually getting to the age, like, I am not getting I used to get ID'd every single time. I am never getting ID'd anymore either. I'm like, oh my god, we're in our mid-20s. Like, it's disgusting.
The thing is, without masks, I get ID'd all the time because of my braces.
Okay, yeah.
Makes sense. Again, I'm not mad about that at all. Mask on, people don't blink an eye, because I will admit, like, if you don't see my mouth, I do look older.
You do.
I believe I do. So it just makes sense. But yeah, let's not talk. We're not, no.
Yeah, it's so interesting too, because I remember until, like, right before the pandemic, I was 24 years old, more than legal to be buying liquor, and I would get dirty looks from, like, some liquor store employees thinking, like, I was a child, and they're like, all right, this one's trying to scam me. And I was like, I am a 20-year-old lady. Like, just because I am 5'3", that doesn't mean I am not legal. Oh, because, like, people... Okay, the funny thing is, this is a random tangent. People don't understand how short celebrities are. So if I tell you I am the same height as Kim Kardashian, that does not make sense to your brain.
No. I also have a really bad, like, height perception, but I feel like that's almost like a thing about being a woman, is you kind of actually don't know how tall things are because you're constantly lied to about height your entire life.
Exactly. So it's like, oh, you're not an adult because you're small. Same height as Kim Kardashian. Same height as Scarlett Johansson.
Scarlett Johansson's 5'3".
Scarlett Johansson's 5'3". Yes, we are all tiny little ladies. You know, I was listening to an interview. Tom Holland is 5'7.5".
Oh, no, that I knew.
Yeah.
I knew I'm, like, the same height as Tom Holland because Zendaya is 6 foot.
I don't think she's 6 foot.
Well,
I think
she's like 5'9".
Yeah.
She's tall.
Yeah.
So, you know, good for him.
Good for him. Good for him.
What a power couple.
Exactly, yeah. No, but it's very interesting because now that we hit our late... Oh, God, no. No, we're still in our mid-20s. We're not in our late 20s yet. And so being an adult is weird because I feel like we're starting to, like, plan out our lives more.
Oh, my God, yeah.
And it's so weird because, like, Trevor and I were talking and I was like, okay, well, like... I don't know, like, this we want to do this year, and then we want to do this year, and, like, before we get married, we want to go on a vacation, and then, like, this timeline, and I'm, like, speaking, like, years in advance, and I'm like, this feels so, like, what? Like, I'm not gonna get married, I'm a child bride. Like, I'm 16.
Yeah, it's very weird. It's very strange, but I also think that kind of, like, if you think back on it, we're on a very different timeline from, like, our parents' generations, and people, like, will I feel like everyone can 100% agree with that, except our parents.
They truly can't.
Like, look,
yeah.
Mom, Dad, love you so much, but I think this is something our parents have a hard concept of grasping, is, like, we are in our mid to late 20s, and, like, we still have roommates, we still have, like, lots of debt, we are... I mean, personally speaking, I don't think I'm ever really going to own a home.
No, that's something completely, like, realistic a lot of us have accepted. The fact that our household combined makes over $100,000 a year.
Yes.
And there's 4 of us living here.
Yes.
And we still, like, none of us are rich.
No.
Yeah, we need 4 people to split the rent. Like, yeah, we all got raises within the last couple months.
Yeah, but our electricity bill doubled last month, and that's hurt.
Yeah, and we don't know if our rent is going to be raised next month. Like,
Yeah.
we don't know. And it's just kind of like, because I know my parents, like, oh, like, because my parents already had me by now.
Yes.
Well, my dad was 30 when I was born, but my mom was 25, and I'm 26, turning 27, and I'm like, I don't.
Yeah. Like, I mean, like, my parents had kids, like, when they were older, but, like, my mom had my brother, like, a little bit younger, and I'm just like, I cannot imagine having kids right now. Like, no.
No, I can't imagine, like, a little mini-me sitting beside me. Like, I can imagine the kitty cat sitting beside me.
Yeah.
She's kind of a little mini-me. She's got anxiety issues.
Yes, we have 2 people in this household that take anxiety meds.
Yeah, we take anxiety meds. We're both very obsessed with food.
Yes. So, I just think it's really crazy. And, like, that's not to rag. Like, it's just a generational difference. And, like, that's totally fine. But, yeah, we're getting to that point in our lives where we really have to think about that stuff. And I'm like, oh, that's gross. Like, I got this new job, and I'm like, maybe I should set up an RRSP. And I'm like, what?
I know. I was looking into them, too, and I was like, what does this mean? I got so confused.
For those who don't know, an RRSP, because we do have some American listeners, that's like a 401k. So it's our registered retirement savings plan. And this is something, maybe it's just like my family, but this is something that's like very, very important to my parents. Like, this is something I have to fall back on, which again is a generational thing, because a lot of companies back in the day when they were unionizing or trying to get employees, they all had retirement plans.
And, like, some companies will, like, match your RSP contributions,
Yes.
and then you can, like, only contribute up to a certain amount every year. But then you also have to decide, because we also have TSFAs, which are, like, tax-free savings accounts.
Yes.
Because if you don't make enough money to an RSP, you're better to have a TFSA. Like, I was literally researching this on the train on my way to my little business job, and I was like, I hate this.
Yeah.
I just wanna drop $400 on a pretty floofy dress.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Let me just have that. Yeah, like, it's crazy. And if people our age are in a financial position to, like, set up an RSP, please do, because in the long run, yes, it does suck. but you will thank your 80-year-old self will thank you very much so. But I think the one issue is, and I have this conversation all the time, I personally until getting this job, I was not in a position to be putting away that much money into an RSP. I have a TFSA that I put money into every single month. But the nice thing about a TFSA is if I was to lose my job tomorrow and my house tomorrow, I can take that money out and it's mine. An RSP, you have to like call your bank and they have to like put it into motion to get your money out, and that can take precious time that you might not have.
Yeah, because I think I'm like starting to get to the point where I'm not living paycheck to paycheck and trying, setting up a savings account, and it's scary. And I thought my financial situations have changed so much within like the last year. For example, in March, Trevor and I were talking about buying a car, and then my work hours got drastically cut. I had to find a brand new job, and thankfully we didn't buy a car, or else we would have had all the car payments would have been on him, which is an unfair burden.
Yep. And
it would not have been able to afford. I was barely able to afford our rent and my half of all the bills, and it's just your finances can change. And when you are living so close to that paycheck to paycheck, yes, you could put that $20 in RRSP, or maybe that $20 is so you can have food for a couple days.
Yeah.
So it is a very scary situation. I think there's a lot of misconceptions when it comes to savings and savings accounts and investing your money, because we're not taught it properly.
Yes.
And it's also a big stress, especially when, a lot of people are not paid a living wage. I was on TikTok the other day, and so employers love to make it that you don't talk about your salary.
Yeah.
Which I've become very open about talking about how much I'm paid. I'll say exactly what I'm paid if my friends ask me, or I'll just say it myself.
Yeah.
Because not talking about how much you're getting paid, the only person that helps is your employer, not you.
Yeah.
So she was talking about how her friend was getting paid more than her from the exact same job, and she's like, how did you manage that? She said, well, gotta ask more. I looked up what the living wage was in California, and I said when they asked me about compensation, I was like, well, the living wage in California is this much per hour. Do you think your employees deserve to make less than the living wage?
Go off.
And she got what she asked for. When I got my new job, they had said they had posted online what their bracket was for salary wise, which still I still don't know if I like hourly or salary better. I think with my current job, salaries actually means what it is. My old job, I was getting paid salary, but I was working way too many extra hours, which I should have been paid overtime for.
Salary gets a little tricky because, yes, you're salaried, and there is basically when you're salaried, it means that there are going to be times when you do have to work more than your allotted hours. And at least in the job I'm taking, I can already see that being a huge thing that will probably happen. My past job, I was hourly, and I literally left. I was there at 9, I left at 5. I did not care. I was like, goodbye. Because sometimes my coworker would be there till 8 or 9 o'clock at night, and I was like, this is the one thing that sometimes I find crazy about office jobs. So I was like, there is nothing that important that needs to be done at 9 o'clock at night, unless I'm now going to work in tech, so it's going to be a little bit different. But overall, there's no way that there is something that important that to take away from your own personal time.
Well, my part that was frustrating me is, so I was getting paid salary. I was working 2 to 4 extra hours every day. So I wanted to leave 2 hours early on Christmas Eve. My boss freaked out. Christmas Eve, 2 hours early. I've been putting in 12-hour days, but I'm only supposed to be working 8 hours a day. But how dare I leave 2 minutes early on Christmas Eve to see my grandparents.
Yeah, it's garbage. That whole situation was very messy and very terrible and very toxic.
But that's what salary's supposed to be. I needed to leave early for my allergy testing, and I was like, okay, what do I do? And my boss is like, well, you can either work an extra hour each day to make up those lost 3 hours, or you can take a part, a half day if you want, and not paid. And that's how salary's supposed to work. And she's like, yeah, we're pretty flexible as long as you give us some notice, and if you need to leave early, that's fine.
Yeah.
We just have to make sure, like, we have someone to cover. Lately, like, it hasn't been busy, so I was like, fuck, I gotta, like, I really wanted to leave. That's also the one frustrating thing about going to the office is we are not busy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we'll be picking up next week. Like, I have to destroy old files, and we haven't really had many for me to destroy, so I've kind of just been, like, looking for things to do. Like, I organized emails for, like, 2 hours.
Fun.
I literally put them in all folders. January, February. Like, they didn't need to be in those folders, but I was...
No, it's nice.
Well, I was bored, and my coworker's like, you need to look like you're doing something. But we had to clear out an office, and there's, like, 150 files I now have to destroy. Like, it is file mountain.
Fun.
And I actually don't mind doing it because it's mindless work, and I just kind of, like, think about creative ideas and stuff. Which is nice because my hands are busy, but my mind is free, and I'm not staring at a computer because it's literally, I have to take these binders, take out all the information and shred it. But, like, I don't even have to wait for a shredder. It just goes into this giant box, and this company picks up these boxes and shreds them for us.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because, so at the salon, we had to shred all these old receipts, but the shredder got overheated very fast. Oh yeah, I was like putting that shredder through, like, I put her to work.
Yeah.
And she would get very, very angry at me. And then I just have to keep, like, we have, like, tabs. So we reuse tabs because office supplies are very expensive.
Yes.
And they're very wasteful. So you want to try and reuse whatever you can. Mm-hmm. So yeah, so I just, like, take out the documents and shred those, and then take out the tabs, and then organize the tabs, like A through Z, 1 through 100, and I put them in little shelves, and that's what I do. And it's kind of frustrating because on days where I was organizing those emails, there's other things I could be doing for my own personal wise that when you have the luxury of working from home, you're like, all right, no calls are coming in, no faxes are coming in, no emails are coming in. I can work on my own personal stuff, and it doesn't distract from my work at all. Or you can be like me, who orders the email, something that not need to be done at all, or organizes paper clips for 2.5 hours, didn't really need to be done. And I'm just sitting there when it's like, cool, like, I could have if I was at home, right, like, if I was allowed to work on my own personal stuff, it wouldn't be taking from the job at all, because I was doing things that didn't need to be done. Yeah,
exactly. Like, when I was working from home, when I would have to, like, wait for emails back from people, I would just, like, throw in a little laundry.
Yeah.
Fold it. Like, just something. Because I'm like, when I would sit at work in the office waiting for things to be approved, I just sit on my phone. Because there's nothing else to do.
There's nothing to do. When I burn CDs for 3 hours, there's nothing else for me to do.
Yeah.
Except sit there and watch the CD burn. I mean, not, like, physically burn in the air.
I would hope not. Please don't burn in your office.
She comes up to me, yeah, Kelsey, can you burn a CD? Grabs, like, some matches. I mean, sure, I guess so.
This is what you meant, right?
Yeah. Oh, that would have been a good prank.
No, it wouldn't have been. Kelsey, you're still in your probation. Don't let them think you're stupid.
Yeah, can you burn me a CD? All right, I feel like that's a TikTok.
Probably.
Maybe we should make that TikTok. Hey, can you burn a CD? Okay.
I'm confused. What are we supposed to be accomplishing here?
Yeah.
So, no. We just kind of wanted this episode to be kind of like updates, I guess.
Yeah.
There's a lot. If y'all haven't been paying attention to the current world climate.
Oh, yeah. We thought we might talk about the news, and then we just realized
there's a lot going on. We are not experts in the news in any way, shape, or form. We do believe that you need to keep yourself updated with current events as much as you can personally process it, because not only on top of the pandemic, we now had in Canada, and unfortunately this spurted around the world, there was the trucker convoy, and then now all this stuff happening overseas with the war going on.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot to handle. It's a lot to process. And it's okay if you don't know how to process it and don't know how to handle it. That's very normal because our brains aren't wired to do this.
But, like, I think what we're Amy's saying is, like, don't be ignorant, be informed.
Yes.
But it's okay to not speak up on something if you don't have the correct information and you haven't spent the time. Like, I think in the age that we're living in, misinformation is spread so easily and so quickly, and that's why, like, I'm very scared on the internet, like, afraid to share things because you don't know if that's correct.
Yes. So, like, please make sure you're, like, reading the information. Like, there's a YouTuber who would like to watch, Philip DeFranco. He does news, and even he's very touchy on some of the subjects because he's like, things change so fast. There's so much misinformation. He's like, don't just listen to me. No. And I think that's very, very, very important.
When I was in college, we had to report on the news every week, and you had to find 5 credible news sources because you were not allowed to get your news from only one source.
Yes.
And that's how it should be. If you are staying informed on the news, you need to seek it out from multiple platforms because we have a whole subsection of people who only listen to, like, I don't know, for example, Fox News. Or they get all their information from, I don't know, Joe Rogan.
And if you only get your information from those places, I'm sorry. You are part of the problem.
You're part of the problem. So it's good.
Actually, I'm not sorry. You are part of the problem.
Yeah, you are part of the problem. And that's what I do suggest is search out from multiple sources, stay informed, but do not let it consume you. It's hard sometimes because you feel helpless.
Yes.
And things can feel very hopeless.
Yes.
And
I think it also sucks because it was a very weird time on, like, going on Twitter is always a very weird time because Twitter is always where news breaks the fastest and how a lot of information can spread super fast. And it was so, like, one day people were talking about the war going on, and then literally the next day, like, an embargo lifted on, like, the Star Cruiser in Disney. And then people were getting smacked for talking about that. And it was like, people are going to talk and process about what they want to talk and process about. It's not taking away from this in any way, shape, or form. It's just like, obviously, like, I'm sorry, I don't want to hear about the war from a Disney influencer. That's the last person I think who should be having an input of what's going on in the world.
And the thing is, my social media was so strange because there's a war going on.
Yep.
So my Twitter was the war in Russia and Ukraine. And then Sims people getting mad that the Sims 4 wedding expansion pack is absolutely broken and garbage. And I don't know who was angrier.
It's a very weird time.
Yeah.
Like, it's very strange because we had that. Then we had, like, the trucker convoy in Canada going on. And I remember seeing this lady on TikTok who would sit there and she would decorate cakes. And she's like, I live downtown Ottawa. These are all the updates. And she's, like, decorating this, like, beautiful cake. And I'm like, I'm conflicted.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I'm watching this video and, like, it's making me, like, process the information, but my brain couldn't quite, like, because those videos are, like, kind of relaxing, but the information I was consuming,
It's quite jarring.
And not relaxing in any way, shape, or form. And I was just like, I'm conflicted.
Yeah.
So it's a very weird time. If you feel like you need to step away from things, that is fine. Please do. But just also don't be ignorant of what's going on in the world. But also just realize people handle things differently. And that's fine. We all need time to process. Just kind of like with all the mandates being lifted. If you have a friend who's going out partying crazy every single day now, okay, maybe talk to your friend, but at least now they're doing it in a way that's safe, whereas before, if people were doing it, like, behind their backs at, like, house parties, that's dangerous and risky and not okay. People are going to go at their own pace, and I think we all just need to kind of try to understand that from everyone's perspective.
Well said.
Thank you. I know my voice kind of cracked. I'm fine.
Are any of us really fine?
I don't know. But yeah, just take it easy. This episode is just, kind of whatever we wanted to talk about.
Take it easy and keep it sleazy.
Why sleazy? I don't like that word.
I don't know, I was just thinking of The Good Place.
Oh,
Michael, keep it sleazy.
Keep it sleazy.
Yeah.
And also, I would just like to say to the person in Vancouver who keeps doing the graffiti of I love lesbians, keep doing it. Keep doing your job. It's been seen at multiple places.
Really?
Yes. Okay, so for people who don't know, there's a bus stop right by our house that someone graffitied I love lesbians. Great. Love to see it. I had a friend who posted on their Instagram story, they were somewhere downtown, another bus stop literally had graffiti that said I love lesbians.
I feel like we should go to that bus stop and do a photo shoot of you.
I just thought it was really funny Because we know that we live in, like, a gay neighborhood.
Oh,
because,
we live in a gayborhood, yeah.
yeah, every time iced coffee is on sale at the grocery store, you cannot find it.
Oh, yeah. No, all the plant milk is first to go. We have so much cow's milk. No, all plant milk gone.
Except for that one time there was a milk shortage, and it was like, what?
Yeah. This is not our grocery store.
No.
Yeah.
So, anyway, keep doing your job. That was just something kind of fun going on.
Yeah. So, with that being said, I think we have lots going on. And I think we are going to take a break next week because Amy...
Sorry, I'm being selfish.
Yeah, Amy's starting a brand new job. And we're all going to be very supportive. So we're going to take a week off the podcast to all support her and make sure she leaves a lasting impression so they do not fire her first day.
Please.
Not that would ever happen, but...
No. But it's scary, it's nerve-wracking, but it'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll be fine. So Amy's going to start her new job. I am working very, very hard to make Twitch affiliate.
Yes.
So if this is a shameless plug for myself before Amy does the outro, but I'm streaming on Twitch now, and I've been going back and forth with it, and I am starting to enjoy it more.
Good.
So if everyone wants to drop me a follow, it is Babushka Pete's.
Do you want to spell that for the audience? Because I don't know.
Yes,
how to spell it.
so it's Babushka, which means grandma in Russian and Polish, because I have both heritage. I'm part Russian, part Polish, and other white things. So it's BABUSHKAPEETZ.
Oh, you say Zed.
Z. Yes. That's my Canadian heritage. I say Z. Yeah. So if everyone should give me a follow, and saying that, and with the news source going on, yes, that is my heritage, but I stand with the people of Ukraine, and I'm very against this war. But that's all I'm going to say on this. And I am sending my thoughts, love to all the people in Ukraine.
Absolutely. It's a crazy time.
It's a crazy time. Now, Amy, give us the outro. You don't need to plug my Twitch since I already did it, but give us the outro.
You know what, maybe we'll see how it goes. We'll see if I remember. This is off tangent, but the last episode we put out, I forgot to take out one of the parts where I was whispering.
Oh my god, you did? Yeah, I was gonna tell you about that, but I'm like, it's fine.
No, it's okay. My partner did it for you. They're like, did you know you did this? And then they played it for me, and I was like, fuck.
All right, Amy, get it in one go. Let's do this.
Oh, no. Okay. So, yes, thank you guys so much for listening this week. We will be taking a little bit of time off, but we will be back. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, and many other places where podcasts are available. If you would like, we are also available on YouTube, so if you want to give us a subscribe, you'll be able to find our videos there. You can follow us on Twitter at CYTMS Podcast. You can also find us on Instagram and Facebook at Can You Take My Shift? You can follow me, Amy, on Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch at Shelly Amy. And you can find Kelsey on Twitter and Instagram at Kelsey Peets, and then on Twitch at Babushka Peets. I will say it one more time just to hopefully really get it out there for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah.
You're welcome. So until next time, Kelsey, can you take my shift?
No, I gotta go shill for followers.
I gotta go sell your soul.
Yeah, I gotta go sell my soul, maybe my feet. You know, we'll get there.
Oh, please, no. Don't do that.
No promises.
Oh, God.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system.